Hey everybody, this is Space Marine Steve, and this is Hyperspace Hobbies. I'm sitting here with my good friend Ian.
Hello.
And I am so pumped to look at some of these models today. Dark Angels just came out. We got the box, boom, right there. Check it out. We got Terminators. They're over there. You can't see them, but they're over there. Dark Angels got a whole lot of love in 10th edition, actually. I'm really excited about some of these new model kits.
First Space Marine chapter to get a codex.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, the first of the adjacent Space Marine chapters to kind of get their own real book. And I'm kind of hoping that they all get the same kind of love and attention that these got.
Yeah, I mean, they got a bunch of new kits, which is really cool. They got a whole bunch of new stratagems, detachments, a whole bunch of different ways of playing, certain ways of using your army. Like it sort of pigeonholes you into taking certain things, but that's very much what they do anyways. That's sort of part of their fluff. They're either the Raven Wing or they're the Death Wing. You don't really do a ton of everything. You can't have it all.
You can't have it all. And I mean, that's really the point, I guess, of like all the detachments too, is that, you know, they're kind of like starting to corral your army making into like certain themes. Right? And so, like, with Deathwing, obviously, Terminators and Elites and Land Raiders and Dreadnoughts. Ravenwing, you're talking about jets and speeders and bike. They've got so many new, shiny, awesome kits. Asmodai, I think, is my favorite. He's holding the Crozius Arcanum, and he's also holding a power sword. He's a chaplain with both.
That's pretty good.
He's a chaplain with both. So he's got a regular stat line for a chaplain, with the exception of the fact that he's rocking Leadership 5 up, which I've actually not seen yet. Like, as a
Space Marine?
As a Space Marine or anything. I haven't seen a data sheet period that has a leadership of a 5-up. I could be wrong. I bet you there is one somewhere.
There's an Inquisitor with a 4.
Oh, is there an Inquisitor with a 4?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. Almost. And he's, of course, rocking a 4-up invulnerable save. He's got a heavy bolt pistol, which is great. His melee weapons are the combination of the Crozius Arcanum and the power weapon. Can both strike and sweep, but this one actually has a difference. So it's 5 attacks with that strike, strength 6, AP2, 2 damage, hitting on 2s, or 8 attacks with the sweep, strength 5, AP2, 1 damage.
See, that's more like what I'm talking about. That's better.
Yeah, that is. You have real choices now.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? It totally makes sense. And then I love his rules. So let's zoom in on the rules. Exemplar of Hate. While this model is leading a unit, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, you can re-roll the hit roll.
Okay.
Really nice. He dishes out his own little oath.
Yes, essentially.
Right? Yeah. Essentially. And then Feared Interrogator. And now, if you don't know the lore, this guy is like the best chaplain effectively to exist. He's feared so much that like other chaplains are afraid of him because of his faith. Like, it's intense how much this guy knows what he's doing when it comes to getting answers out of people. And keep that in mind when you read the next rule.
All right.
So, Feared Interrogator. At the start of the fight phase, each enemy character unit within 6 inches of this model must take a battle shock test, subtracting 1 from the test when they do. In addition, each time this model destroys an enemy character model with a melee attack, you gain 1 CP.
Very cool.
It's awesome.
They've married the fluff and the in-game rules. Yeah. I like that.
I love it when GW, like, this right here is GW rule writing kind of at its pinnacle.
Right.
Right? Where to me this doesn't seem like super overpowered. It's a little conditional, but I like that they kind of paired it with the Exemplar of Hate to make it more universal. But this is what a special rule really should be like.
Yeah.
Right? It takes the fluff, like all of the lore, and beautifully kind of like blends it in with the model. And I'm going to be digging for this CP at all times.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
When I play him, I'm going to be like, let's go on some characters.
Yeah,
I want to see it.
CP, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Very cool. Yeah, he's great. Overall, I think he's really, really fun. Not only are his rules fluffy, he's got a good stats.
Yeah. I like him. And he can go with, like, everything. Look at it. Assault Intercessors, Blade Guard Vets, Hellblasters, Infernus Squad, Inner Circle Companions. I almost said Champions. It's Companions.
Yeah, I know.
Intercessor Squad, Stern Guard Vet Squad, and Tactical Squad.
Yeah, he can go with a lot of different stuff.
He can go with so much stuff, man.
Very cool.
What would you say his point cost is? Because I've read the book. He hasn't read the book.
I don't know, like 90 or something?
65.
Whoa. Okay.
He's 65 points.
Well, yeah, he's an absolute steal.
Yeah, he is a steal.
Yes.
That's phenomenal. When I read that, I was like, what is happening? He's so cheap.
That's really, 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 really cheap. Good for him.
Yeah.
All right, what about Belial?
All right, so Belial, now this is the one that actually came in this box. And Belial, I'm going to just kind of preface this, that I read Belial, and I was underwhelmed, but maybe like, you can sometimes, a talent that you have is that you're really good at kind of seeing, the bigger picture of a game sometimes, where sometimes I get kind of caught up in analyzing things. And when I read this, I didn't see a lot of applications. Maybe you will.
Okay.
So let's kind of read it together. He's a Terminator. He's got 6 wounds, moves 5, toughness 5, 2 up, 4 up, blah, blah, blah. Ranged weapons. He's got a master crafted Stormbolter. No AP on it, but it is damage 2.
Okay.
Okay, and then he's got the Sword of Silence, which is basically an amped up power sword, strength 6, AB 2, 2 damage, and it has precision. So he can obviously go with like basically all of his Deathwing Terminators. He's a Terminator Lord.
Yep.
And Deep Strike, Oath of Moment. Okay, Grand Master of the Deathwing. So let's zoom in on this. While this model is leading a unit, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, if a critical hit is scored, the attack has the precision ability.
Is that melee or all the time?
All attacks. So shooting with weapons and then also in melee. What do you think of that?
It's a hit. The hit is scored. Every time a hit is scored, it becomes a precision.
Critical hit is scored.
A critical hit. Yeah. So you'd have to roll a 6, and then you'd have to successfully wound for that.
Correct.
To kind of pull all your 6s aside. That's okay. I mean, he's going to be going with a Terminator squad, so you could have some pretty sizable weapons in that unit, but you're still fishing for 6s.
Yeah.
And if you go hunt for the Oath target, you could just reroll, try to get those 6s for precision.
That's
so
true.
It could be really good if you're up against something like an Eldar Farseer, or if there's like a Technomancer in a big squad of warriors. You don't want to chew through the warriors. You just want to get to that Technomancer really quick. Dropping 10 Terminators and just trying to fight for that isn't a bad way of going about it.
That is true.
And he's got his gun has precision, so it's throwing damage too at precision. You could have that plasma cannon on the Terminators or cyclone missile launchers on the Terminators.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good. And then just the amount of firepower that a basic Stormbolter is going to have could actually do some damage. Is it going to work all the time? No. Can you chance it? Of course. And I would try to kill whatever character if you know they're weak enough to go down, like Eldar Farseer or like some type of succubus in a witch squad.
Oh yeah,
There's plenty of those like weak characters that are terrifying in close combat, but they have to get there.
Yeah.
To deliver.
And they're using their unit as a little meat shield to make sure they hit their deliveries.
Exactly.
Right?
And if you can just put a couple shots on them with Stormbolters, then they're over. So he's got, I mean, the granting precision ability is kind of strange, but I think if you use it really in a tactical way, it could pan out. And if you roll some lucky 6s with a cyclone missile launcher, you could be laughing just...
Yeah, that's true. I
mean,
take
out some big bad character in a squad.
Yeah, so, I mean, even using the plasma cannons that come. So like Dark Angels Terminators are allowed to take plasma cannons where regular Terminators don't get to, and those are blast weapons, right? Because they're D3 blast. And so an interesting thing that you could do, if you take 10 of them, you could toss 2 plasma cannons into one of the Terminator squads, and then you'd have 2d3 plus whatever the blast triggers are.
Right.
So like in a squad of like 10, like let's say someone's rocking a squad of like 10 warriors, right? That's 2d3 plus 4 shots. Yeah. And if it's the old target, you could do re-rolls. So you actually could reliably get at least a few 6s.
I think so, yeah, with rerolls. And then if that doesn't do it, you still have a full squad of Terminators that are trying to chance for those 6s. So I think Belial is pretty interesting. He's definitely, he's built for character killing. Is he going to be killing a Terminator captain in the shooting phase? No. But he could be killing some of those peskier units that are small and hard to get to.
Yeah, totally could. He's got one more, and this one again is very situational. Strikes of Retribution. So each time a melee attack is allocated to this model, after the attacking unit has finished making its attacks, roll 1d6 to a maximum of 6d6 per attacking unit. For each 4-up, the attacking unit suffers a mortal wound. But that's not to his unit. That's just his model. Yeah.
Right.
So it means he's got to be the last guy left. Hey, you want to read that a little closer, don't you?
So he could, even if you kill him in close combat and he's dead, this still would trigger. Because it would be each time a melee attack is allocated to this model. So the attacks would have already been allocated. After the attacking unit is finished making its attacks, so let's say he's dead, you'd roll d6.
Yeah. Let's say we replay it as conservatively as possible, and a judge rules against you and says even if he dies, he doesn't get to do it.
Right.
In a world where you get to roll dice to sling back mortal wounds, that's probably pretty good. It feels like one of those rules that's kind of just tacked on there. I don't know if that's really calculated into his point cost or anything like that, but because it doesn't seem incredible.
No, but it could be really good. You could even have something stupid somebody tries to bump into him with a tank.
Yeah.
And he just blanks a couple mortal wounds off a tank.
Yeah.
Or you can throw him into something that, is way above his pay grade.
Yeah.
He swings, he hits pretty hard.
Yeah.
He plinks off a couple wounds and then it swings back at you and you go, well, here he goes. A couple mortal wounds coming your way.
Kaboom.
Could be the final song for that thing,
Yeah, it absolutely could be.
So it's an interesting rule. Obviously not something you can really play into well, but when it comes up, it's going to be pretty awesome. He kind of gets the last laugh on...
If you like hearing us talk a little bit about the Dark Angels, we've still just kind of started digging into this. I know I'm starting to really digest it. If you want to hear some more, put it down in the comment section below. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with your friends, etc., etc. This has been Space Marine Steve and
Ian from Hyperspace Hobbies.
And we are saying a good night.